Next week, we'll be discussing Some Like It Hot from 1959. KJ, how was your watch?
It was lovely. This was a great movie. Audience, grab some popcorn or whatever your favorite snack for a movie is. If you need
Bread,
suggestions,
Tom.
listen to season one. Tom, bread,
Mhm.
butter, knife.
I love bread. It's the perfect movie snack.
Wait for a rainy afternoon and sit down and watch Some Like It Hot. It is wacky. It is wonderful. Jack Lemmon is in it. He's great. Marilyn Monroe is in it. I don't know if you've seen Blonde, but it was a little tough to watch. Poor Miss Monroe. But I actually watched this on the living room TV, guys. Here it is on the living room TV, not just on my phone. I was sitting on the floor. The dog crawled up and fell asleep in my lap. It was an absolutely lovely time. One of those movies that makes you want to watch more movies. How about you, Nick? How was your watch?
I also thoroughly enjoyed this film. I had no expectations going into it. I've just been going through this giant list of movies, and it was on there and available on a streaming service that I have. So I said, "Hey, let me put that on." And again, I knew nothing about it, and I was so pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed every bit of it, from the Chicago shenanigans all the way down to Florida, which is definitely California. My wife actually recognized the resort that it was filmed at from when she was traveling out there at some point, apparently. And yeah, it was a great time. It doesn't have to make sense. It can be goofy. The whole thing, all of them are great. Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Marilyn Monroe. I think this was also later in Marilyn Monroe's career. I have to say that, she didn't have a very long life, unfortunately. But yeah, it was an interesting watch, and it really kind of shocked me, though, the subject matter back then. I always think they were simpler times and maybe more prudish, but they went there in a variety of films. In fact, another one by Jack Lemmon, The Apartment's kind of out there, but I'll save that for another time. Tom, what were your thoughts?
Was it the Hotel del Coronado? I think is where they
I
filmed.
believe you're right.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoy this. I Billy Wilder is not what you would call a subtle director, and this is not a subtle movie, and it gets very, very close to the vulgar without ever going over. I think the pleasure of it is that's sort of almost dangerous, gaudy, not particularly, I would say, respectful of any kind of sense humor that goes through this movie. We watch Jack Lemon's character become like almost come fully into a woman for no other reason than somebody shows him kind of sexual interest, and so it's like this delightful transformation that he goes through. The characters are behave badly. They're wonderful together. Marilyn Monroe is um what would you call it, delightfully spacey, I would say, in her role as Sugar. And the movie does have these like big acts. It starts in Chicago, and that scene goes on for a little while until you hit the St. Valentine's Day massacre, and then moves into Florida and kind of all that stuff. A lot of the plot mechanics don't exactly make sense when you try to think about them, but thinking about the plot mechanics is a little goofy of a thing to do in a movie like this. I do think it is a big open, naked delight. That's a good time.
Some Like It Hot is available on Max at the time of this recording.